As-Salaamu Alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to SANZAF Qurbani Q&A series, the show that answers your questions on Qurbani. I'm joined today by SANZAF CEO Yasmina Franca and SANZAF Head of Fundraising for the Western Cape, Ashraf Kenny. As-Salaamu Alaykum, shukran for joining me.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sister Yasmina, today we're talking about SANZAF's Operation Qurbani. We know it's a really busy period for the organization. Could you expand a little bit more on the operation?
Yes, shukran Nazim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So immediately after Ramadan, when we did our reconciliations of Operation Ramadan, we commenced with the planning of Qurbani, and it's an important process because it, as you can well imagine, the numbers of livestock that we actually procured to be able to facilitate Qurbani on many of our donors needs a little bit of pre-planning. So we start our Qurbani process immediately after Ramadan, and alhamdulillah, as you can see, everything is now up and running, and so our Qurbani offer is both locally in South Africa, facilitated through most of our offices in and around the country, and then also we have an Africa component, which is shares that can be sacrificed in Malawi or Mozambique. So we try and cover as much as we can. The Malawi and Mozambique is also to attend to the food insecurities in those countries, but also to offer the local donor a more cost-effective option if the local livestock is, we know everybody is struggling nowadays just to make ends meet, and if the local livestock is a bit too pricey perhaps for certain households, then there is that option. But like we said in our previous programs, you know, this is a sunnah mu'akkada. This is something that you must do for the sake and for the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we need to see how best we can perform this. But alhamdulillah, SANZAF is able to facilitate that. We do this on various Qurbani farms in and around the country, as well as some of the in and around masajids in the smaller regions where we operate.
Shukran. And Brother Ashraf, so sounds like quite a substantial project, and that also means a lot of meat afterwards. And what does SANZAF do with all that meat?
Yeah, so shukran for that. I think that, you know, as Yasmina indicated, from a SANZAF perspective, the offices are across the country are buzzing, they're busy. Our teams across the country are preparing for the start of Operation Qurbani. And we're talking about what happens once the animals have been sacrificed and people's intentions have been fulfilled. What then happens to the component of the meat that SANZAF retains? That is then distributed to worthy beneficiaries across the country through our various offices. So be that if, for example, your Qurbani is performed in Kimberley, your Qurbani will also be distributed in Kimberley. If your Qurbani is performed here in the Western Cape, it will also be distributed here in the Western Cape. And that is done, as I said, through the offices of SANZAF, where we've got obviously an influx of people coming into our offices and requiring and requesting assistance throughout the year.
So, Sister Yasmina, that sounds like a huge operation, a distribution of Qurbani and benefiting thousands of people. Could you expand a little bit more on that and the benefits of the way SANZAF distributes the Qurbani?
Yes, so it's important also to note that with our feeding schemes that we run throughout the year, we serve in excess of 500,000 meals for the year. And this particular time of year, it's important that we're able to then, you know, include the meat from Qurbani in our feeding schemes. And, you know, we do feeding schemes on a daily basis in some areas, but then also in other areas once or twice a week. And alhamdulillah, this will last us at least 1 or 2 months after Qurbani to be able to add meat to the actual meals that we distribute, but also importantly to let the donors know who opt to have the Qurbani done through SANZAF is that 15 Rand of every Qurbani niyyah will go to the SANZAF Waqf Fund. And it's important to talk about that Waqf Fund at the moment, because right now the public will also see that SANZAF has an appeal out, an emergency appeal out for water relief. We found that the drought in the Eastern Cape has warranted this call, but also the floods in Durban has also warranted the call for clean water. And what we've discovered is that the best way to do this in a sustainable way is probably the borehole option. And that in essence is a sadaqatul jariyah. It is something that we can do from waqf funds. So 15 Rand of every Qurbani will go to our waqf fund, and inshallah we can more than likely channel those money to the emergency relief that's needed for the water, one because of drought and one because of the flooding. But inshallah we hope to use that funds to bring relief in a sustainable way, inshallah.
I mean, Brother Ashraf, it definitely sounds like a lot of benefits to trusting SANZAF with that amount of your Qurbani. If somebody does want to do a Qurbani through SANZAF, what must they do, or what could they do?
Yeah. So the easiest way to do so would be to visit our website, which is www.sanzaf.org.za, and select whichever respective region you may be from, and simply complete all the necessary details, fill in the names of the intended persons for that particular Qurbani. Payment is done there on the site as well in a safe and secure manner, and then you leave the rest up to us to fulfill on your behalf. Alternatively, if you prefer to do things in the traditional way, you're welcome to visit any one of our offices across the country and physically go and fill in your form and do your payment for your Qurbani. And inshallah, we do pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward and accept from all of the donors and all of those who are intended to perform Qurbani, whether through SANZAF or on their own, that Allah accept from them and grant them the reward, as the Prophet ﷺ has mentioned, of every hair on that particular animal, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them the reward justly, inshallah.
Ameen, ameen. And before we close, Sister Yasmina, as we are in the important days of Dhul Hijjah, do you have a message for the public?
Yes, Nazir, shukran for that. Yes, I think this is an opportune time for us as SANZAF just to extend our wishes and our well wishes to the Hujjaj who are facing the most important days of this beautiful journey. And we make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them their health so that they can complete the obligations of this huge ibadah, and that they find themselves on Arafah, the waqt of Wukuf, and that all their du'as is accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and importantly that they return home safely and come and inspire us with their experience, so that we too inshallah can experience Hajj in the way that they have. But also we will be celebrating Eid as well. So I'd like to extend on behalf of SANZAF, our entire management team, I'd like to extend a greeting of Eid Mubarak to all. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us a day of peace and a day of tranquility, and time to spend with family and loved ones, inshallah, in and around doing our sacrifice in terms of the Qurbani as well. So Eid Mubarak to all. Kullu aam wa antum bi khair.
Shukran so much for joining me today. And to our viewers, a reminder that during these holy days, believe in the mercies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, perform your Qurbani through SANZAF. And you can do that safely and securely by visiting our website, www.sanzaf.org.za, or catch us for more information on Qurbani on all our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. As-Salaamu Alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.